It was a cold, moonless night when the rumors about the old abandoned house began to resurface in the small town of Blackwood. Perched on a hill and surrounded by ominous, gnarled trees, the house had been shrouded in mystery for decades. The townspeople whispered about unspeakable horrors that had transpired within its decaying walls. Some said it was haunted by the restless spirits of a family that had vanished without a trace, others believed it was cursed. Despite the macabre history, a group of curious teenagers, eager to debunk the tales, decided to spend a night inside. Sam, the adventurous leader of the group, Lucy, the skeptic, Peter, the easily frightened, and Emma, who had an inexplicable fascination with all things supernatural, gathered at the foot of the hill just as the clock struck midnight. As they ascended the winding path, an unsettling hush enveloped them. The wind howled through the trees, and shadows seemed to dance with malevolent glee. The air grew colder with each step, and the sense of dread was palpable. Sam pushed open the creaking door, and they stepped into the foyer. The stench of mold and rot assaulted their senses. Dust motes floated in the air like lingering souls. They fanned out to explore, their flashlights casting eerie beams that penetrated the darkness. Lucy scoffed at the creaking floors and the occasional scurrying of rodents, dismissing them as mere products of an old house. But as the night wore on, their skepticism turned to terror. Whispers, barely audible, seemed to emanate from the walls. Peter, already on edge, nearly jumped out of his skin when he saw a shadow move independently of any light source. Emma, drawn to an old, ornate mirror, felt a cold hand grasp her wrist. She screamed, but no sound came out. Sam rushed to her side, but his eyes widened in horror as he saw Emma's reflection being pulled into the mirror by an unseen force. The room temperature plummeted, and the air thickened with an oppressive, sinister energy. They heard a guttural growl, and the walls began to close in on them. Panic-stricken, they ran for the exit, but the door they had come through was now a solid wall. The house began to pulse like a living entity. It was alive, and it was hungry. Just as they felt all hope was lost, the first rays of dawn pierced through the boarded-up windows, and the ghastly phenomena ceased. They found themselves back on the hill, the house now appearing as it always had, decrepit but innocuous. The experience had changed them. The terror etched into their minds was far too real to dismiss. They vowed never to speak of that night again, but deep down, they knew that something dark and malevolent watched from the hill, waiting for its next victims.